there is not a Bjergsen Orianna to just like take over the team fights as far as the damage output is required. He's not on Azir. He's not on Orianna. Zilean needs people to buff up. He needs someone strong to make stronger, right? If you have this like little weak rat and you're giving him the res, it doesn't matter. He's just going to die again. So Doublelift has to do well in lane to kind of be that worthy target of getting buffed up and sped up and res, if Golden Guardians do dive in and kill him.
And this is a matchup that's going to be interesting to watch for here. I would say Zilean is a bit of a counterpick into Syndra. We talked about Tahm Kench, where you see the ult come in, you chomp them away. Zilean just does that thing by ulting the target and saying, well, the damage is coming in, we're just going to revive them, we're going to trade ults, and that's going to be okay with us. The double bomb stun versus the Syndra E stun, that's going to play out down the line, but you really can ruin a lot of the Golden Guardians playstyle. And what might happen here on this side is we kind of wait for the game to play out and wait for the players to load in and for us to get gameplay footage is how kind of AoE can the Golden Guardians team fight be? Yeah. Because the single target, he's going to get revived by Zilean. Unless you chain stun Bjergsen from full to dead, whatever is getting targeted is going to get revived back to full HP. And if you blew 4 ults to 1 and got nothing, you lose that fight every time. But if the Kennen ult gets 4 people to 20% health, and then you're ready for the follow-up with the Hurricane Kalista, well, now Zilean saving 1 person doesn't matter. The teammates are dead. Double comes back up, and he's like, oh, I'm surrounded. Got it. Okay, I'm dead too for the second time. And I'm very curious what the fights actually look like as the game plays out.
I'm also going to be super interested to see if Biofrost can pull off one of the really kind of strong defensive tools for the Bard against the Kennen, because you can prevent the Kennen flank by simply ulting him, right? If you can spot him coming in for a team fight and actually ult him before he can get in on top of your team, that can buy you time to create space and actually back up from that Kennen, disengage out. And you have to remember that similar to how the Caitlyn Bard combo works, you can do the same thing with Zilean. You ult someone and you drop 2 bombs on their head, they come out, they both immediately attach the same person, you are stunned, you take that damage. So if you do get hit as you're trying to fly in with the E on Kennen by that Bard ultimate, it is a very easy turn onto that guy.
I believe there's an interesting asterisk interaction here, because this is my recollection of seeing Bard, Zilean, Thresh in the same game. If you are Bard ulted and a lantern's down, if you're spamming right-click and you're in range of the lantern, you will grab it in time. I think you may still be stunned, but you will actually fly out. I believe that is like, there's just like the frame allowed to click that lets you in. But yes, I mean, stopping the Kennen engage going to be very important. I'm also curious if there's going to be a Locket in this game who's going to buy it, because there's not a lot of good buyers for it, but it's really good against Kennen. Either way, we've got a lot to talk about in this game. It's Game 5 of this match, the last game of the weekend here for the LCS, and it's an elimination battle. The loser of this game is done. Their 2020 season is over. Between the 4th and 5th seeds of the LCS 2020 Summer Split regular season, TSM have not made Worlds since 2017. And it would be another year on that mark if they fail to close this one out. On the Golden Guardian side, they won their first playoff series ever 2 weeks ago against TSM themselves, and need to do it again to move on to face Cloud9 next weekend for the LCS's 3rd and final Worlds spot. Cloud9 awaiting the winner. We'll see if it can come through. We are on to the Rift.
It's just going to be so exciting, and I agree. There's so many different things I want to talk about.
I know.
We saw Spica have this incredible Nidalee game last game, but we talked about how Nidalee can look if you don't get ahead. Last game he got ahead. It looked incredible. Everything was going his way. We'll see if he can actually replicate that same success this time around. We also have the Bard W start, so he's starting the Healing Shrines, dropped all 3 for Bjergsen in the mid lane. It does equate to essentially, 225 health, thereabouts, maybe a little bit less off after the nurse, maybe like 200-ish, but it's a health potion and a bit, so it is quite impactful if you can take some of those early trades. Zilean will be expected to get pushed in early on, and it can be actually pretty hard to farm on Zilean. As you do get more levels, it becomes pretty simple when you have more mana. You can just double bomb the backline and one-shot that. But the early laning does take quite a bit of practice to actually farm effectively. Bjergsen obviously one of the best in the business at playing this champion though, and then we just gotta watch this bottom lane, because FBI on Kalista, this champion is one that really can take over, that can dominate a game, and they have this kill style lane against the Ashe and Bard, who are going to be very much on the back foot, who are going to have to seed the push. So I want to see if with FBI off of the Senna, can he just run over this game? Can he get them that bot lane advantage and snowball the dragons and secure his team's spot in the next round?
It is, of course, the early game focused Kalista build, Hail of Blades. You sometimes see lethal tempo. Not surprised to see Kalista go for a lane dominant rune. You pick the champion to win lane. Thresh can do kind of all of it. Thresh is obviously very good overall as a champion, so We'll see if the early trades can go well. Doublelift is running Cleanse, because if you get hooked by Thresh, you're probably just dying to Ignite plus Kalista combo, so it makes sense there, even though you're not against an Ashe, as he picked it himself, but something to watch for. But it also means that his, bursty healing is going to be lower if there's ever a cannon flank or something. But look at this. Top lane focus from TSM. They have pushed Hauntzer entirely off the wave. He is bleeding farm. He might let him get XP on the cannon. I think just barely walked in range of that one. Finally level 3, but so much danger, and he's still got to be afraid of this one. They're going to maybe go for it. Looking for a javelin maybe, finally sidesteps it, but Hauntzer is bleeding gold and bleeding XP from Speak Empathic topside.
And I love that they didn't overcommit to it. We'll see if Golden Guardians actually do commit to this dive. It looks like they want to. They're TPing in. It's level 2.
The play we saw a game ago, is it going to be enough for the kill? It is! And who he flashed out of turret range. But Closer is on the wrong side of this fight. He's going to be easily claimed. The Lantern!
Oh!
You gotta be freaking kidding me! Closer's gonna live! They get first blood, and Broken Blade TP'd down, so Hauntzer gets to get the lead topside.
Closer has single-digit health. That is insane. I'm not sure if they were trying to give that over to Ashe or not. Let's watch this one more time. This is level 3 on the jungler, on both the bot laners against level 2 here. So not a lot of ability to outplay. Biofrost not able to flash that, though. He does flash late and then goes down. And then did Broken Blade stop hitting him? Broken Blade missed the Q. So now he's just trying to guard.
He's trying to block the Lantern. Auto once.
Yeah, and he missed the slice as well.
He's late.
Oh, no. I think he just needed to actually go for the straight-up kill instead of trying to fiddle around with the Lantern there. If that Q landed, that is a kill. That is double buffs going over, and that is, maybe not worth it anymore for Golden Guardians. In this case, all that great work that they did up on the top side, zoning Hauntzer off of everything, is now kind of for nothing because Hauntzer has TP advantage and is up in farm. And now 3-man mid here for Bjergsen.
And Bjergsen's low on mana. Easy's not going to land. Who he going to go for the hook, and it's going to force a flash out of Bjergsen. Flashes the long way, not going to go near Closer for a Q flash. That could have been a possibility if he went over the wall instead. So flash burn for the roam, and Golden Guardians. So many times in this split this year, they have had a great early game, and a lot of the times they have failed to close out. In the series against TSM so far, they have had some stumbles in the early game, but late game shot calling has not usually been their problem here. They know where he is, but slightly off. With the sweeper, Biofrost was spotted, didn't know it, and who he sadly guesses a little bit wrong in the distance.
Very, very close there. But yeah, it's so interesting because, as you say, that has been their MO. Incredible early game, but maybe they're going to throw in the mid game. That has been the Golden Guardians that we have seen. And throughout this series, it has actually been the opposite. They have been losing the early games to TSM, and TSM in the first 2 games wasn't able to close out. It was actually Golden Guardians that had the superior playmaking and the superior execution down the stretch. This time, it is back more to that kind of standard play that you were expecting out of Golden Guardians. They have an early game advantage. We'll see what they can get done with it. Thankfully for TSM, the first blood went to the Thresh, so it's not nearly as bad as it could be. Bjergsen has the early catalyst completed. This is always a great item purchase when you're playing this matchup specifically. You do like to stack a little bit of health to just give you the HP to get through any potential initial upfront burst so you can survive to get that ultimate off. And Closer's down here again, so they may actually just be going for the rinse and repeat. He's spotted, but
Bjergsen
no TP.
Broken Blade no TP. Spica is right now on the top side of the map, so this is going to be a plate taken, and there is no chance TSM can fight for this. This is the exact same thing we saw happen to Hauntzer in the very beginning of the game, saying you are not allowed to play League of Legends right now. Get off the wave, lose the gold, lose the XP. Same happens now to Doublelift and Biofrost, the lane dominance you expect out of Thresh Kalista. And so far, so good on this side, as Golden Guardians will knock down another wave. But now, can you dive a second time? Because now Spica must have reacted to this. He must be nearby. Control ward spots Closer. Easy Lantern away. Plate number 2, 1 auto. Now keep in mind, there's no Lantern to keep FBI safe, but there's no arrow for Doublelift to force the fight.
So this has got to be frustrating, though, for Doublelift and Biofrost. And Closer has definitely been paying a lot more attention to bottom lane in this series than Spica has. Spica has played much more top lane-centric style throughout this series. It has been working out for them. But as a result, there have been a number of times where Doublelift and Biofrost are falling down on farm, and Doublelift is having to seed waves, not because he's missing them or anything, but because Closer is there posturing. Closer has been really good with his pressure on the bottom side throughout the games and, really trying trying to play that role of a facilitator. He is not on the carry this time. He's going to be playing tank Volibear, so he's got to enable his lanes. That is his job, when compared to the Nidalee. The Nidalee needs to be super strong and power farming and doing all these things. Closer just wants to get the lanes going.
He's going to do so with the blue buff handoff right there as Damonte gets the expected pickup there. Going tier, so another Archangel's pickup here on the mid lane. Going for more raw AP. It's more burst overall. It's certainly more sustained damage in a team fight as you get multiple spell rotations off. And also it's more defensive. It's just a little bit worse on wave clear, which to be fair did get nerfed in the most recent Cinder nerf. So we may see that pay out in some ways as he can't keep the lane under control. Rod of Ages not too far away from Pure, just needs the combined cost. Top lane shoved in. Hansler overall down a bit in farm, and that is with a TP out of the lane from Broken Blade. With him coming down to bot lane, Hansler is still going to be down in farm, and Broken Blade setting up a brush trap as well. Auto, Q, one more auto tries to get empowered stun. He's going to get this one soon, and that is big damage. Burns the ulti for this one as well, so Hansler has to ult for the stun, but he does not have a good way out of this one. Will finally walk away. Spellbook over to Ignite, burns that one as well, but Broken Blade taking a lot of map control.
Yeah, good job by Broken Blade, and since the TP is down, it's actually very worthwhile. He did lose an entire wave to do it. I wonder, I actually think if he just popped ultimate on his first auto, I think he actually forces flash. And that's something that, is fairly minor, but the rage generation as well as the AoE damage on that ultimate, Hansler was down to what? Sub 10% HP? I think that actually makes the difference in forcing out that summoner. He did pop the ultimate after using his entire round of spells, so as a result, not going to quite have the damage to get that out, but it's still a good play. He takes down a second plate up on that top side despite TPing away from lane. The pressure that Spica and him have been putting up there has been very, very good. So it's kind of just that split map style, right? Volibear puts his pressure down on the bot side, puts Doublelift behind, and Spica putting his pressure up on the top side, trying to put Doublelift behind.
It's a little bit of a battle of different styles here as we talked about the bot lane focus of Golden Guardians. 2 plates there, the first blood, the extra pressure to force some CS dropped, 11 CS difference here as we crest almost 10 minutes into the game. But similar on the top side, of course. Broken Blade a level over Hansler right now, 2 plates to himself. Though there's no kill on scoreboard, there was some jungle pressure from Spica to make that one a bit lopsided as well, and it means the gold is pretty close. 200 separates these teams. More farm from Spica in the jungle, level lead for him as well over Closer. Doublelift having to play the lane very defensively, doesn't have a support just yet. Volleys for 21 gold. Golden Guardian still trying to deny farm from Doublelift from the bottom side.
Yep, had to wait for Biofrost to get back. Biofrost is not going for Swifties or Mobies, so very atypical on the Bard. You almost always will see that, but he feels like if he gets CC'd, he's going to die, so he's going for the Merc Treads here. More defensive option, less about the roaming, of course. Does get hooked up.
Merc Treads have a bit of value here as he flashed over. Could it be enough? Could it be enough? 2 more autos. They get the kill picked up. Nicely done. Despite the Merc Treads, the CC chain is too much. Ignite goes over the top. Exhaust is not enough. And Golden Guardian's got another kill in the bottom lane.
TSM really misplayed that. The exhaust was super late. Doublelift never arrowed to peel. I'm a little bit confused, honestly, as to how they let that happen. I mean, great hook by Huhi and good execution to actually get that kill, but that feels like that should not be a death. That should be a summoner force.
Well, it's going to be top lane first turret of the game. The Herald was picked up from top lane pressure, from mid lane pressure, and a lot of money goes over. TSM feeling really comfortable around top side. Golden Guardians feeling comfortable around bottom side. They've knocked some turret plates down. They will get this Drake as well. But top lane is still under fire. No one is bailing out Hansler. And this turret could fall as well. Plates are still on. Doublelift is in a 1v3. Here comes the bear. He certainly don't care. And Doublelift's health bar is gone. There is no way you should really be there, to be honest. And that's going to be a turret in the top side. A turret in the bottom side. It kills the bot lane. It's objective to the top side.
I mean, it's a gold lead for TSM at the end of the day, but the question is, can you get enough out of your top lane to make this worth it? I just think top lane is so much weaker in the general meta. They do force a flash onto Damonte. It's much easier to win a game off of a really fed Kalista than it is off of a fed Renekton, and that's kind of just how I feel about the current state of League of Legends. So we'll have to see if TSM can kind of disprove that. But that's really what it is, right? The gold lead is in TSM's favor, but the gold is in very different places. You're going to have Doublelift, who's kind of worthless on this Ashe because they're getting focused so heavily. He is getting killed off, and FBI is going to be mega strong.
300 gold difference in this game. Mid lane difference is a plate and 12 CS. Jungle difference is about 4 camps right now, but otherwise it is very stratified. Hansler is very far behind. Not missing a ton of XP, but Well, to be fair, neither is Doublelift as Broken Blade comes in for the play. He wants to kill FBI. Forces the flash right away. Re-engage not going to be very good either. Lantern not going to be much. A hook onto Bjergsen. I don't think they can one-shot him, though. They find the stun. It's not going to matter. He's got Merc Treads as well. Merc Treads on 4 members of TSM. If they can't be stun locked, they won't die. They've got Bjergsen to answer, so no problems there. A lot of summoners lost on the Golden Guardian side. A flashless Kalista is an easy target.
So Broken Blade making the roam, trying to spend his gold to put pressure on that bottom side because they took down both the top lane turrets. So it's kind of like, what do you do now as the Renekton? You're not going to be able to be safe pressuring the inhibitor tower at 13 minutes into the game. So he can push the wave or he can try to permanently freeze. I honestly think you're not going to be able to get much done on the bottom side until Dragon spawns. So I would actually prefer to see Broken Blade just set up a freeze and just hard freeze the wave. Up on that top side if he can and try to extend his advantage that way, because it is very difficult otherwise to kind of force your will on that bottom side, and then once the dragon's about to spawn, then move down there and try to get something done with what you hope is this super strong Renekton.
Bjergsen cleaning out waves as best he can, and Monte doing the same as the roam towards mid happens. Bjergsen TP-less, used it to get into the mid lane. Is going Glacial, by the way, so he's going to go towards some team fight setup over time. The big slow fields are going to feel pretty nice. A lot of slows on this squad overall, as the boots have not really come in for a lot of Golden Guardians. None at all on Closer. No upgrade for Hauntzer. But otherwise a mix down there. We'll see what comes through as 300 gold difference stays the state.
Look at Ashe right now, and he just has an uncontested push, and you can't actually siege onto Zilean. So right now, I don't really like the play from Golden Guardians because they've left a free farming Ashe to get turret damage and actually close the CS gap up a little bit. And meanwhile, they're doing nothing top because there was no Rift Herald up. You can't pressure Zilean really unless you can just one-shot him under tower. His wave clear is pretty much infinite. We'll see if Hauntzer can do anything to punish Doublelift here, but for now, the last little bit, definitely TSM got more out of that. Doublelift is still down in farm, but he is down much less. TSM looks like they want to try to pressure the mid lane turret. While now Golden Guardians do have FBI up on that top side. They're going to take Herald. They're going to try to take that top lane tower down and continue injecting more and more gold into FBI.
And look what TSM is getting. They're going to walk forward. They're going to land the bomb. This is almost certainly going to be a kill. The bombs are down. Goodbye. Big damage there on Damonte. Has a lantern, but the bomb is on his head, and he's going to die anyway. And the mid lane turret falls all the same. You may have gotten a Herald, but what does it do but turret damage, which TSM already got in the mid lane. They're getting it in the bottom lane as well. Didn't even have to cross-map arrow. TSM at 15 minutes playing better League of Legends.
Yeah, they're just moving around the map and getting way more. It's like, okay, so we talked about Renekton, he's our super fed player, and Kalista is your super fed player. Kalista is 1v0, right? Kalista is farming against minions up in the top lane. Ashe can do the same thing. Whether you're 0-100 or 100-0, your champion can still kill minions. And they're taking the power point that they had, TSM, and they're moving it towards mid lane. They're using the Renekton to try to tower dive, to pick off Damonte, and I've got to give credit to Biofrost because that was 2 straight ults in a row on Damonte. First got the flash. That time he didn't have flash, so they kill him off. They take the tower, and TSM getting a lot more out of this last little bit, trying to catch up Doublelift and trying to extend the lead elsewhere.
800 gold lead to TSM. See if they can keep that one going or how much the map can be split up. Have yet to see a team fight with the Hauntzer ultimate. Rift Herald summon into the mid lane, but Bard does not have ulti, so we cannot immune the charge. This will at least deal about 2,500. There's a flash engage towards Bio. The hook is just in time to flay as well. And a kill on the board and just in time because, hey, by the way, it's Drake number 3. Broken Blade has the ulti up in a few seconds, and he's on a flank position. Jungler is alive. Spica is there with a level lead to boot over the opposing jungler. Closer will have his work cut out for him for the smite, but thankfully Kalista's on the board here as well. See some fighting over wards, but will they fight for the smite? They're going to try to walk around. Javelin's going to come in, not going to be contested. Drake number 3 in for TSM, sorry, for Golden Guardians, the other team here. And an Infernal Soul really fits the bursty playstyle.
Yeah, that is a huge pick on Biofrost. Got caught slipping in the river there. TSM, I think, were strong enough, more than strong enough even, to really be able to contest that, especially because Hauntzer had actually gotten poked out. He was relatively low, and without a stopwatch, if you fly in there at 40% HP on a cannon, you're probably just going to die, because he was actually fighting against the Renekton on the bottom side and got chunked out. But Closer flashes in, Huhi immediate flash follow. Who else but Huhi, pulling him out of the portal. Biofrost trying to flash back into it, gets flayed out of the portal again. Huhi on top of things. And that gets them their 3rd dragon. And that is why it can be so dangerous to play this more scaling style. If you do give up those early dragons and you make mistakes like that around the 3rd and the 4th dragon, it can be devastating to your chances to win the game.
Well, as we saw, Dragon Soul can certainly be defeated. Now looking at Broken Blade. Now it's the Fed members fighting each other. FBI going to find a slow, going to keep going for the auto attacks. But without Rend, it's not the most damage on a low health champion, but the hook is perfect, and the Bard ult only hits 2. FBI was not gold, and Golden Guardians find their 5th kill.
Closer giving the thumbs down to his good friend Broken Blade as they take him down. They get the flash ult and kill off him. Very valuable there. TSM do strike back on the other side of the map, but it is going to be so concerning for TSM because one mistake around a dragon again, and that is going to be an Infernal Soul going over to this team. It's going to allow extra power, into this cannon, flying into the backline with that Infernal Soul, make FBI even stronger, who's already so far ahead. I mean, he's 20 CS up, but he's been getting all the kills critically here too. He's got 3 kills with those killing blows, and he's going to be on 2 items very, very soon. If Kalista gets too far ahead and gets that 3 item point, at a really good pace, you often just can't burst Kalista down. Like, you get to the Hurricane plus Death Dance, and you just start life drain tanking everything.
For sure. And we'll see if there's going to be enough damage to stop it, or if we can indeed just drain tank Broken Blade, because Renekton with damage certainly can do a lot to a backliner. Hurricane done like that one. It's a fairly short range team on TSM. You're going to have Spica in melee range a lot. But I got to point out that the rough gold difference for FBI over Doublelift is about the same as what Broken Blade has over Hauntzer. Yep. In actual golden inventory, FBI is 1,000 over Broken Blade. Right, 7,900 to 7,000, that is a difference. That is certainly meaningful. He is the richest member in this game by a lot. He's got 1,000 over every teammate. In fact, 2,000 over almost every teammate. Damonte, you can see he's almost 2,000 below his teammate AD Carry, but he's 1,000 behind Bjergsen. Like, this is kind of FBI versus the world. And sadly, Huhi has 2 of those last hits. It's Huhi with gold, which is not the ideal champ for this. So TSM still with an overall gold lead, and some of the Golden Guardians gold not on the right champions.
But who else would you want that gold on besides FBI? So maybe FBI versus the world, but this is the man that can make it happen. He has made magic happen for Golden Guardians in this split. This has been their best year ever. Win or lose, it's just a fact. They have looked more competitive. They won their first ever playoff series. They're pushing TSM to the brink here, maybe going to eliminate them in this Game 5, and FBI has been one of the best marksman players in the league. It is an exciting time for Golden Guardians right now, and if you're able to make that carry play happen here against one of the legendary marksman players, Doublelift, that is extremely impressive. That is extremely rewarding for this guy.
Sure.
But Bjergsen is incredibly strong himself. We know how many games he has carried on Zilean, and he has a lot of gold himself here too. He's got the 2 items quickly. He has the Super Soaker. Hextech GLP now.
Oh, he's going.
He's looking.
He thinks it's a play. He thinks it's a flash and a chase down. Flash is traded on both sides. Double bomb coming back up soon. Ulti coming across, big stun, but not enough to get the kill. Sidesteps, Tempered Fate stays alive. If Bjergsen a bit low, makes ulti targets a little bit more difficult. Just weathering down that champion can be useful, but Nidalee's here for sustain. 50 seconds on Infernal Soul. Flashless Syndra, flashless Zilean. Syndra ult should be up right about in time to fight for the Drake.
And we'll see if the Syndra is going to be the more vulnerable of the 2, because I do expect Damonte to be more at risk of actually, getting destroyed in that type of potential situation. If the Renekton can get on top of him and he has no flash, Phase Rush may not be enough to save you. While Doublelift isn't strong, you can just kind of turn your focus towards Broken Blade as Bjergsen and be speeding up and throwing bombs on Broken Blade to add the additional damage in there, reviving this really strong Renekton. But Broken Blade hasn't based in a long time, it feels like. So I imagine he has more gold than he has spent, but Damonte in trouble.
Finds a stun. They go in for Bjergsen here as well. Sees he going to come across. Hook's not going to land. Here comes the teleports. Here comes the play. This could be the deciding moment because Dragon Soul could close it out as Huhi walks in. Lances in Hauntzer. Tries for the flay. Double forced to run, but they're going to find 3 stuns. Bjergsen ults himself. How about the re-engage? They force out the Zilean ult. They're going to let him revive. Closer very low. Forced to flash away. Can they find the re-engage? Asher are going to land. Stopwatch buys time. Hook is going to catch Bard. Ulti coming across. They will knock down Bjergsen. 4v5 on the map. FBI low needs to find some raptors or some wolves to lifesteal off of, and he will do that. Again, 5v4 on the map. No flash, no TP, no ult. No way for Bjergsen to get back into the fight. If Golden Guardians have the health bar, they can take this Drake. There's even a single Ocean Drake for minor regen. Jumping over the wall. Smite up for both junglers. Level 12 to level 10. Spica favored. How about the ton? How about the stun? How about the blast plant over the wall? Can they force this one away? Hawkshot reveals the Drake is getting low. Again, Infernal Soul for Golden Guardians, and Spica lands the Javelin. They land! Oh, that is a troll ult. He's gonna kill himself before the smite! Biofrost, who are you working for? No chance at a spite steal, and Spica dies for nothing!
Biofrost just ulted the dragon as Spica hit the spear and was going in with the potential Q smite execute on what is the soul for Golden Guardians. What is that call?
You press tab and you ping that red circle next to Biofrost's name. Tempered Fate, 87, 86, 85, 84 seconds. Why did you cast that spell? Do you not have voice communication to say, I'm going for the steal, let me go for this one? There's a world where ulting first is better, and a world where ulting is not the play. They chose to do both, and it was catastrophic.
Yeah, that was rough, because, I mean, he actually hit the Q, right? So he can pounce through that dragon, potentially, and just burst it down, but who knows? I mean, he might not have got in it anyway. Broken Blade, though, getting picked on in the side lane, and Huhi looking for the hook. So this is going to be rough now for TSM, right? The soul is gone. 23 minutes in. That would have been a critical steal had they been able to get it. We have to remember there's no guarantee he would have. And they did lose that fight previously, to it. Bjergsen got taken out. They were trying to fight their way out of it, but Doublelift and Biofrost were very low, so it was mostly on Spica and Broken Blade. Let's watch this one more time. So it hits the dragon, and he wants to go in, and that is just straight up. Yeah, I mean, that is just straight up a miscommunication. That looks so troll. Right as your jungler is blast coning in after hitting the spear, and he's going to look, he even has flash. So he could even flash Smite Q for a really big amount of burst there. I don't know if he would have got it, but he would have had a shot, which could have potentially had them in a much better spot in this game, because now they are at a big disadvantage.
2-level lead for Spica, Bjergsen feeding him a bit of XP. So the Smite lead is there once again, Baron on the map. And I gotta point out again, because it is worth reiterating, Dragon Soul is not guaranteed win. It is certainly effective. It is certainly helpful. It's more damage. You never turn this one down. It's obviously useful. But look, if you're gonna one-shot Bjergsen anyway, in a stun combo, it doesn't do all that much at the end of the day. If they're one-shotting you, it's offensive stats, not durability. There's a chance here as well. They're trying to now play around the vision, going again for this Baron, going to try to burn this one down. Broken Blade is in the side lane with teleport up, and Golden Guardians just dealing damage, still burning it down, bleeding through the opposing trinkets. TP not yet used by Renekton, as Huhi burns the movement speed, tries to go in. Again, 2-level lead for Spica, and here comes Broken Blade on the fight. He's there now, TP used, and that is all they're going to get for it. A wave crash in the bottom lane. TSM have control over mid. I mean, the rotations don't change because of Infernal Soul. Only the team fight damage does. So TSM ready to push in and look for more turrets.
I mean, something that you were talking about in some of the earlier games in this series is essentially just the equating of a soul to gold, right? And I think that with Infernal Soul, it's the easiest one-to-one kind of thing, with just saying it's like, this is essentially just equal to extra AP or extra AD. It is essentially a Luden's proc on top for all these different champions. That is very valuable, but it can be understood very easily by saying it's like, oh, that's 800 or 1,000 or whatever gold worth of damage. So it is surmountable, right? To your point, if you miss position, if you get it out executed, if someone gets picked off, that doesn't always make the difference. That being said, you add a couple thousand extra gold onto the lead here for Golden Guardians. That is looking very good. You consider the 4 dragons worth of stats, an additional for Golden Guardians. That is also very good. TSM, though, looking for an angle here on FBI. Not going to be able to find it, as there was a ward in that side brush.
And TSM have control of the top river again. They can, force face checks. You're seeing the Sentinel come through from the Kalista. Biofrost is going to walk around to the side. It's going to get autoed once, going to get autoed twice. Double gets 10 gold, but there is no vision whatsoever anywhere near the Baron pit. Thankfully for them, there is a ward that shows 3 of TSM. They know what's happening. They're going for Bjergsen. Here comes the fight. Flows are going to kite right back out. They find a hook on a Bard. Not the ideal target, but a big stun means they might force the ulti, and he's not going to revive him. That is a 1-for-0. That is Tempered Fate and Fate's Call. Thrown in. And they're not going to find the hook just yet, but they do still get that kill. And a stun from long range puts Closer at 200 health. No follow-through. Wouldn't have been a good play for Spica. He would die for that jump. He might not even gotten the kill, because Closer could flash out of the pounce.
But at the very least, they push Golden Guardians back. So if you just lose the support and they can't actually go towards the Baron, it's not that big of a deal. But Biofrost has got to be careful about his positioning. He has been picked off a lot of times in this game with 4 objectives, with 4 major fights. And TSM now moving over to this Baron. There's no vision in the area. They're starting this up. FBI's on a recall timing. Golden Guardians have no idea. We'll see if Closer even goes over here to actually check. He is running over. They're going to be able to find out now. So yeah, we'll have to be backing off.
The persistent damage is just so low, honestly. Doublelift is on 1.5 items, because Hurricane, you're itemizing for the AoE damage. The single target, it's fine. It's a bunch of attack speed, but you just don't burn it down fast enough. You're missing Bard for some healing, and end of the day, yeah, one of your damage sources actually has to tank Baron, and thus deal half damage. Either Renekton or the Nidalee is going to deal half damage there. So end of the day, Blue Trinket saves the day, and look at this, Elder Dragon, it's up in 40 seconds. We've seen Golden Guardians, I think 3 times in a row, find a single pick and get out safely, and that has led to map control each time.
And critically, FBI has those 3 items I was talking about. Death Dance just completed right in the nick of time here. He has gotten 3 items, the Infernal Soul, and they are potentially able to threaten the Elder. They are moving up towards the Baron, and this can get complicated on the trades here, because if one team takes Baron and the other team takes Elder, the Baron team can back off and just try to play defensively because that buff lasts longer. So you always have to consider the possibility of the trade and also of the Callista Spears for the securing of an objective here. Hauntzer, I'm not sure if they spotted. If they fast check this could be
They had the ward. He finds some damage and gets healed right back up. Speak is safe. Closer can't find the way in. He's got to be careful. He's getting slowed down. This could be a potential play. Broken Blade building up the rage, hitting the wave in the mid lane. Blast Plant knocked off. Blue buff crucially timed. Goes to Damonte. Closer is missing some health. He's only at 1,500 though, and he starts the Elder Dragon. They're going to start this play. Trinket's used to watch for a flank. No one's down there. Broken Blade waiting in the jungle, waiting for the play. Once again, hits this red buff to get some more damage across, finds his stun, finds damage on a Hauntzer, and that man has to be careful on Kennen. 8,000 health on the Elder, and Closer forced to ult away from Bjergsen. This is not easy for Golden Guardians. They don't have the flank. They don't really have the plays right now, as the Elder Dragon resets and pushes back towards TSM.
And look at the waves for TSM. They have top and bot pushing. Mid is fairly neutral. It looks like it will slowly push towards Golden Guardians, but Damonte's going to go fix that. So Broken Blade is still trying to heal up off this. Bjergsen has actually gone to bot lane to try to get the push going. Broken Blade is now shoved out, though, so he's got to get access to something to heal off, and this is going on for a long time.
Mid shoved in. That's going to crash into the turret, but Bjergsen gets the turret kill. So now we begin again on the Dragon Dance. And of course, you burn the Elder Soul while hitting the Elder itself, so you don't always get everything you want. There's the flash. They try to catch him with Fate's Call. They catch him. This could be the kill, but you got to be careful of the re-engage from Hauntzer there as well. Is it going to be enough as the revives come through? Damonte knocks down Bjergsen, and they're going to find a second.
Broken Blade
so far. Broken Blade running over this game right now. Closer gonna be next. He tries to journey away. It's not gonna be enough. Dragon Soul be damned. TSM win the fight. They're going for the base.
Broken Blade's TPing in. They want to close this out. Broken Blade got in the middle of everyone. The Renekton running over the fight. I don't think they have the minions to do this. I think it was an over-eager call. They need to go back to this Elder.
Get the turret at least.
We'll see if they're going to go for it. Yeah, but then you risk the TPs coming through. Hauntzer and Damonte both have TPs, so they're going to get the tower. They are going to back it off. That seemed like they got a little bit excited there. Potentially thought they could end the game. We'll see if they can secure the Elder here for themselves, because if you can get the Elder, you can then posture around the Baron and try to get that Baron utilizing this buff. But, I mean, this is getting dicey. Hauntzer's up in 3 seconds, and will have TP. We'll see if he comes.
TP coming in for Bjergsen, though, as well. The only one not here right away is Spica. Bring it down pretty quickly. Bjergsen's there for the 4-on-0. And TSM did their homework. They did the math. They did the calculations. They said, we have enough time for the bottom inhibitor turret and enough time for Elder Dragon. And TSM, with a 3,000 gold lead, are wearing the Elder buff.
Oh my god, what an insane game. Golden Guardians and TSM so evenly matched in this series. But with that Elder Dragon, I don't know if Golden Guardians can contest at the Barons. Let's watch this one more time. This was a couple minutes in the making. And the initial engage, so big here as they flash in. The Fates Call, who he pulls in Doublelift, then Hauntzer from the side, flashing on top, getting multiple members in here. But the stopwatch from Spica absorbed a lot of that. Bjergsen is fairly tanky. Doublelift gets revived, and look at the AoE coming through from Doublelift, from Broken Blade, getting in the midst of the team with the ultimate popped, cleaving everyone down. They got absolutely shredded, and TSM pulling this game back from the brink of defeat. If you lose that fight, you lose the Soul plus the Elder. There's no way you can contest the Baron, and now it feels like the shoe is on the other foot, and TSM have this 130 window to take the Baron while they still have Elder.
Broken Blade really can't die in this composition, at least if they're hard diving onto Doublelift. He's going to have a lot of free time to go for the auto. So Elder buff is on for a minute 15. 8,000 health left on this Baron, and it's going down fast. Ashe now on 3 items. There's plenty of damage output here. Will they contest? Closer will have to ult in for it, puts a new ward down, and of course he can Lantern out as well. 3k health. Lantern can get vision. They've got to try for this play. They absolutely must, I think, have to try for the steal, and they're trying to bait it around. They're trying to play around the vision. Bard ult comes in! It's gonna be stolen! It's Tanner time! And it's not time for Golden Guardians to lose just yet!
Damonte steals it away. Closer immune to the Bard ultimate with his own ultimate, but didn't even get the smite off. We gotta watch this one more time as Golden Guardian stealing it away. Spica cannot come up with the smite. He's level 15 on the Nidalee, has the Q execute, but cannot time it right. Here it is one more time. Bard ulti gets thrown over, so it's a good thought. The idea is hit the Bard ult, then burst it down, but they go in, and it is the Scatter the Weak coming across the W as well from Damonte. Level 16, bursts it down. Spica cannot time it right. And that may have gotten Golden Guardians what they need here to get control of the game again, because the Elder buff has now expired. That was TSM's only advantage with that buff, was to be able to take the Baron. And they had positioning. Golden Guardians couldn't fight them, but it came down to that smite steal attempt, and Damonte, what a monster play.
All right, power play, Golden Guardians. Arrow's gonna land. They need the Lantern. They need to get him safe.
Oh,
they still find the stun through Bard, but he's still alive, and he has Guardian Angel anyway. Re-engage isn't good. The squad coming around. FBI a bit low, burns the heal. Who he gonna stay safe? Ulti's down in a lot of cases right there, and there's not much of a re-engage. Bjergsen is just such a menace on the Zilean, cutting in and out, finding the slows, finding the CC. And of course, you can never burst one TSM member down, because Bjergsen will revive them. So there's nothing to be done here. Golden Guardians have to sit and wait, and the longer you have to wait, the worse it can be. Nice Stonies by Spica, not going to be easy target. They'll find a stun, no. Looks like Scatter the Weak was down for the time, and there's nothing to be had right there. So TSM can say, you know what, you have Baron, but look at this, TSM are taking over the jungle. The Dragon Soul, I keep getting it wrong. The Dragon Soul clearly not scaring TSM in any way. They're ready to take those fights as they need. Their front line healthy.
But they're mispositioned here. They're kind of cut off on the side, the Baron minions. So TSM has got to get back into the base and try to defend this inhibitor tower, because it's going to go down so quick. Doublelift on the side, though. He doesn't have his ultimate quite yet. FBI is getting flanked by Broken Blade.
They got to CC chain this guy. They got to do a lot. There's a stopwatch. There's Tempered Fate building a lot of time, and they're going for Huhi. He could be an easy target. He's stunned up in place, and they can't save him. So back in goes Kennen. Looks for the stun. Looks for Biofrost. One hit would kill him, but he can't die. Broken Blade safe on the side. Broken Blade finds the kill on Damonte, and it's time to run away. The revive on Renekton. Not an easy kill. Spica. FBI wants in, but he runs it down in mid and gets stunned up and killed. A Lantern to buy some safety. It's not gonna be enough. It's 2 unanswered kills for TSM.
FBI open up, but this time it's your base as he flashed in, loses the GA, loses his life, and with a 45-second res timer and a teleport coming in from Bjergsen here, they are gonna push in and try to catch Hauntzer.
And they might get a lot here. Bjergsen forces out the first flash. They're going to find some bit more damage. Closes in danger. Going to find a stun. Looks for a Lantern. Cannot get out. And that might just be the play that closed the playoff loop. TSM ready to push in. They are pushing in forward. 15 seconds. 10 now on Damonte. 20 on FBI. Somehow a 2v5 defense must be the play. And it simply cannot happen. We bid farewell to Golden Guardians, and TSM are just 3 wins away from making it back to Worlds with a date with Cloud9.
The reverse sweep happens for TSM. They pull it back against the Soul. They lose one game with the Ocean Soul, but they make Golden Guardians pay, taking him down with that Infernal Soul. Despite the Baron steal, TSM team fighting their way out of it, and will keep their world's hopes alive. But oh man, FBI, that play is going to be one he remembers for the rest of his life.
Yeah, definitely some choking going on there on the Golden Guardian side, but hey, TSM, well done. The first 2 games you lost and it looked really bad. The first series you played, it was a 0-3. I saw a lot of fans in my Twitter mentions giving up on TSM. Oh, this team is trash. Rebuild the whole roster. But they stuck it through. Biofrost back in here in the playoff run, and they made the reverse sweep happen. They got the 3 in a row they needed, And after such a rough early game where Bot was getting camped, they won through Broken Blade at the top side and a well-deserved victory at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from them. The mental fortitude there, I thought they were going to be done after game 2, where they had the Ocean Soul, where they had outscaled Golden Guardians, and Golden Guardians fought their way out of it and took them down. I was thinking, all right, that's it. They're getting swept out. This is 6 straight wins for Golden Guardians, and TSM is done. But TSM regrouped. They adjusted in the draft. They started banning out the Caitlyn. Their bot lane held up in the 2v2 much better than in the previous series. I think this last game was the toughest one for them, with Biofrost getting picked off a number of times and the jungle attention. But overall, strong showing down there in the bottom lane, and they were able to make those adjustments and depend on some incredible play, I think, from Bjergsen throughout this entire series to create opportunities for TSM to win from what would be, very difficult situations.
Yeah, it felt like solo lane difference was a really, really big deal here for TSM overall. Broken Blade seems to get some level of a playoff buff. I still think back to the reverse sweep that TL put over these guys back in their first split, back when they had Sven on that roster, and it was so close to being the win. That man was smurfing in the first 2 games of that final, when he first joined TSM. This time around, he got a couple of really, really good matchups, and he was absolutely demolishing. They said, you know what? We're not going to let you play Shen. No safe matchups. Play a fighter up against me. And Broken Blade constantly found really, really good engages. He won his lane time and again. When they gave him resources, he paid them off in team fights. Bjergsen, obviously, some really good performances as well, nearly carrying the first couple of games. Huge in game 3 on the Azir. And the Zilean, at the end of the day, countered a lot of the composition. There were no one-shots available when the whole team dove on Doublelift at that bot side dragon fight that was for Elder Dragon. Gets Zilean revived. They might kill off Bjergsen, but that's okay because Double's back and Broken Blade's killing everyone, and it was an ace for 2, despite the first one getting revived.
He makes it look so easy to land the stuns on Zilean, and it is really not that easy. It makes it look like it's a point and click. He is consistently landing those. He almost never will miss a revive timing on his ultimate. He is insanely precise with that. His Orianna game as well was incredible, holding the ultimate, it felt like, for the perfect time pretty much in every single game. Bjergsen really is in form these days, and TSM have got to be very thankful for their team captain, for him to be stepping up like he was, or I don't think this type of reverse sweep would be even remotely possible. But on the other side, Golden Guardians still should be extremely proud of the year that they have turned in. They pushed TSM to 5 in this. They 3-0'd TSM in the upper bracket. They have done miles better than they ever have before, and they have some young and incredibly promising players in Closer and FBI, and in the resurgence of Huhi, Damonte and Haunts are playing, really, really well overall as well. This is a team that has a lot of promise, and I think should be proud of what they've done.
Yeah, 5th place regular season, roughly 5th place playoff ending here as well. Top half of the league is an improvement for what Golden Guardians did in the first couple of years. That is steady improvement. I like these players. They are really good. They needed that little bit more, obviously, to fight for Worlds. They couldn't quite turn it in, but still, looking at their origins, I think Golden Guardians has still been up and to the right year over year. So good job to them. But of course, farewell until 2021. Now we are heading to a quick break. But after, we're going to have Tigris and Doublelift for a Verizon postgame interview. So don't go anywhere.